Do y'all see the size of unified WBO, WBA, junior middleweight Puerto Rican star, undefeated world champion, Xander Zayas, who is 23 wins, no loss, no draw, 13 wins by way of knockout? Do y'all see how big Xander Zayas is? Has he revealed his more training footage, his conditioning, strength and conditioning training footage?
Tigran, come on! Nice, big fella.
What's your weight? What's your weight class?
154.
150. You 154?
154. That's what I fight at. How about your weight right now, though?
I was about to say. You don't look 154.
I fight 154, but obviously I have a nutritionist team that went for me and stuff. So they get me ready for fight night.
Yeah.
So I just got to weigh 154, the 26, and then the 27.
26, 27?
27 is fight
Is
night.
it a big fight?
Biggest fight of my career.
Ennis is fighting Xander Zayas. Who do you think is going to win that fight?
I think Boots.
Do you think he will stop Zayas?
I think, yeah, he gonna stop Zayas.
How do you rate his punching power?
Very painful.
Who wins that fight?
Definitely Boots. I think he can stop him. For sure. Under 8, he can stop him.
Systematic breakdown or one shot?
Probably breakdown over the periodic of the rounds, adding up, and I feel like once you start putting this combination together, I think it's going to be too much for the young prospect. Don't get me wrong, he's a good fighter, but I think Jaron has a lot of tools that he can use against him that's going to be real challenging for the guy.
What's the deciding factor in this fight? Is it the body work? Is it the jab?
The body work and the jab, for sure.
If you watch Boots fight, there's some times where there's guys that are not as good as him on his level are hitting him. And maybe Xander's seen us, you know what, let me get him, because if I hit him, it'll be different than other guys.
And I think when guys step in the ring with Boots, they're intimidated with the athleticism.
Yeah, he's a different brother.
Xander, he's not. He's a champion. He's confident. He got that Puerto Rican pride, too.
Okay.
I mean, the fight's in Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the fight's in New York. I'm sorry.
Yeah, might as well be in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
You know, Puerto Rico, New York, you know how it is.
So it's gonna be a big fan base for Xander, man. So it's gonna be like a hometown kind of fight for him. So, you know, man, it's just a great recipe for it to be.
On paper, the matchup appears perfectly even. Place them next to each other and you'll find two unbeaten fighters, both standing 5'10" with identical 74-inch reaches. Yet the instant Xander Zayas and Jaron "Boots" Ennis finally shared the same stage, it became clear to everyone watching that something didn't add up. The contrast in their physical appearance was impossible to ignore. One fighter looked prepared for a grueling battle at middleweight, while the other appeared to possess an almost unnatural frame. Behind the scenes, whispers from training camps have fueled speculation about a shocking rehydration advantage that could completely reshape how fans view this highly anticipated June 27th showdown.
Di Amerika Serikat akan berlangsung pada 27 Juni di Barclays Center di Brooklyn. Pertarungan antara Xander Zayas dan Jaron Ennis akan memperpanjangkan dua gelarnya di kelas 154. Ini adalah pertarungan yang fantastis. Saya akan langsung mengatakan, saya angkat topi untuk Xander Zayas karena mempertaruhkan sabuknya dan bertaruhkan sabuknya dan bertarung melawan petarung terbaik di kelas 154 saat ini. Sedang petarung orang-orang sebagai momok di kelas 4 dan ada alasan untuk itu. Boots adalah petarung yang sangat berbakat secara fisik, memiliki fisik yang hebat, berbakat secara fisik. Emble telah berkembang sepanjang karier profesionalnya dan ingin benar berkembang dan ini adalah kesempatan besar baginya. Anda tahu kan Zayas memiliki 2 gelar di salah satu kelas terberat di dunia, jika bukan kelas terberat 154, jadi ini adalah pertarungan fantastis. Ini juga merupakan perpaduan gaya menarik. Anda mendapatkan Boots Ennis yang memiliki gaya Philly, dia sangat agresif. Dia bertarung di dalam kantong petarung kontak tinggi, kekuatan yang bagus dengan kedua tangan yang bagus, iri kecepatan tangan yang bagus, IQ tinju yang bagus, ini sebut saja bolas. Tapi sekali lagi seperti petarung Philly, dia suka kontak tinggi, dia suka berada di kantong, dia suka berdagang, dia suka menghancurkan, menjatuhkan. Maksudnya misalnya seorang dengan orang seperti Xander selalu bergerak. Xander adalah seorang yang bergerak dan suka dia memiliki panjang lengan yang bagus, dia sangat tinggi dan panjang, dan dia tahu cara menggunakannya. Dia juga tahu persis saat menggunakannya. Dia tahu dia tidak akan keluar sana dan menghancurkanmu seperti Felix Trinidad. Dia seorang petinju yang bergerak, mencetak poin dan ingin mengalahkanmu dan menggunakan kepintarannya. Kita tidak pernah lelah berkota bahkan di akhir pertarungan. Dan ini adalah pertarungan gaya yang menarik. Tidak ini seperti tidak. Boots akan mengalahkannya Anda akan terkejut. Entusias dengan kalian ya, saya pikir bisa membuat siapapun di divisi ini mendapat banyak masalah. Tapi inilah mengapa kita akan lihat bagaimana semuanya berjalan pada tanggal 27.
The tension didn't merely linger during their first stare down. It erupted instantly through a moment of completely unscripted disrespect. Jaron Ennis, carrying the confidence that has defined his rise, reached over and began touching Xander Zayas championship belts. Zayas remained composed, delivering a cold and deliberate warning that this was the closest Ennis would ever come to holding those titles. But Boots wasn't finished. He crossed the line once again. Within moments, the Puerto Rican champion calmly placed his belts on the ground and stepped directly into Ennis' personal space, putting an immediate end to the mind games. It was a chilling display of control and authority. Zayas sent a clear message that he would not accept even the slightest sign of disrespect, regardless of the attention and hype surrounding the fight.
Fass sie an, 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 fass sie an. Näher kommst du nicht ran, näher kommst du nicht ran. Das garantiere ich dir. Ich garantiere dir. Ich zeig's dir.
Ich werde es nicht verpassen. Ich werde es nicht verpassen. Ich werde dich nicht vermissen. Klein, Mann. Du bist klein. Du bist klein. Du bist ein Baby. Ich werde es dir zeigen. Beide Jungs gehen sehr selbstbewusst in diesen Kampf. Hey Leute, ey, lasst uns in diese Richtung gehen, ey Jungs.
That level of confidence from the 23-year-old champion may be fueled by a significant physical edge that few people expected. Recent footage from his training camp has emerged, and the visual difference has caught the attention of the boxing world. Xander Zayas looks enormous for the 154-pound junior middleweight division. His frame appears noticeably broader, stronger, and more muscular than many of his peers, giving him the appearance of a fighter who belongs in a much heavier weight class rather than at junior middleweight.
Now that Karen has, lost to Patty Donovan and got dropped twice, a lot of people are looking at the Xander Zayas and Jaron Ennis fight a lot more closer. They're looking more deeper into the matchup. Lots of, Boots fans are taking this Xander a lot more serious now. What do you feel like this brings more hype to the fight now that, Karen has lost?
Well, it could be, like I said, if you're looking more closer at Xander, because most are calling it a whitewash for Boots. But, you can't take away the skill set and the accomplishment of Xander Zayas. He's young. Boxers as well, been getting better every fight. Has fought probably, if not the better competition, right there with him. So, it's two young guys. Actually, Xander is a lot younger, by five years or something like that. But it's still two young guys. And, Boots has a ton of experience, being that he's like over 30-something fights. And, this kid, like I say, he's been getting better and better. And, unified champion. And, man, like I say, the guy he beat for the WBO title beat Cromwell. And Cromwell was perceived as, never got a shot at Charlo. And, things like that. Has had probably bad management, or, the promoters was holding him back. And then he ended up, probably while he was on his roll and having that momentum, he ended up losing that close fight, or losing that fight to the guy that Xander beat for the championship. So I'm looking forward to be a good fight. It's a proven ground for both of them. Boots is, of course, with all the hype that he has, or the expectations that's put on him. And Xander, just being as a young guy, just steady proving himself. So he stepped up to the challenge. It's a fight he probably didn't have to take, but he stepped into the spotlight. And now
whispers coming out of underground boxing circles and Reddit forums are pointing toward a shocking claim. According to circulating reports and data being shared online, Xander Zayas has allegedly rehydrated to as high as 180 pounds by the time he enters the arena. If true, it suggests he isn't just relying on speed and combination punching in the ring. Instead, he is reportedly transforming into something closer to a light heavyweight on fight night, walking into the ring with a size and physical presence far beyond the junior middleweight limit.
W przeszłości nazywałeś go przereklamowanym. Czy uważasz, że słuszne jest, aby go teraz tak nazwać, czy też z powodu tego, kto? Tak, uważam, że znowu jest dobrym zawodnikiem. No i nie można zaprzeczyć faktom. On jest mistrzem świata w kategorii unifikacyjnej w wadze 147 funtów. To są fakty, ale wydaje mi się, że ludzie, z którymi walczył, zostali stworzeni specjalnie dla jego stylu, tego, co robi i co wnosi do ringu. Myślisz, że czeka go szok w noc walki, kiedy wejdzie na ring z... Myślę, że każdy będzie w szoku. Każdy z moich przeciwników, każdy z nich przeżył szok. Za każdym razem, gdy wchodzą ze mną na ring, łatwo mnie zobaczyć i on ma 23 lata, 22 lata, po prostu młody dzieciak bez doświadczenia. Kiedy raz dostanie cios, będzie chciał od razu oddać cios. I to zupełnie inna historia, kiedy wchodzisz tam ze mną i widzisz moją wiedzę i dojrzałość w tym ringu. Zdecydowanie. Więc wiesz, walka w Nowym Jorku, będąc Portorykańczykiem, prawda? Oczywiście, wiesz, jest mnóstwo legend, które były gwiazdami w Nowym Jorku, Tito, co to i tak dalej. Więc, co to dla ciebie, jako Borkła, oznaczałoby odniesienie wielkiego zwycięstwa w Nowym Jorku? Człowieku? To będzie mój 9. raz w mieście Wielkiego Jabłka. Pierwszy raz w Barclays Center i jestem podekscytowany. Naprawdę podekscytowany. Czuję, że miasto stało się częścią tego, kim jestem i mnie reprezentuje. Ja ich reprezentuję. Lubię i kocham energię, którą zawsze wkładają w każdą walkę. Więc nie mogę się doczekać, żeby tam wrócić i dalej promować.
But carrying that kind of added armor also comes with a brutal cost. Draining a naturally growing frame down to the 154-pound limit is an exhausting and painful process. The growing debate in boxing circles is whether this extreme size advantage will become his greatest strength or ultimately his downfall. On one side, being almost 30 pounds heavier on fight night could allow Xander Zayas to physically overpower opponents on the inside and smother their explosive movement. On the other side, forcing his body through such a harsh weight cut against a relentless, pressure-heavy fighter like Jaron Ennis could be extremely risky. If Zayas enters the ring depleted and drained, his legs could fade by the middle rounds, leaving him wide open at the worst possible moment.
Watched him on TV. You told me that you've taken a couple of things. What was one thing that you saw in the ring that you didn't necessarily know he had when you watched him on TV?
He's so fluent when he switches, when he goes from orthodox to southpaw, the way that he could just adapt and just the ring IQ is insane. I mean, the way that he go from orthodox, I go try to counter him, he switched southpaw and then hit me with some shots. I just did not expect how quick he really how quick he really was. Watching on TV is a lot different than being in there with him, I can tell you that.
When you hear people like fans and pundits like criticize the defense and says he gets hit too much and this and that, is it different like watching something on TV?
Oh, it's definitely different. People don't understand, the average eye, they're like, oh, he's getting hit, but 95% of the time we're catching him with our gloves or, we're slipping in or it's barely hitting us and they think, oh, it hits the glove, it hit us. But, I watched a lot, I watched a lot of footage on Boots and I watched a lot of his fights and he rolls with so many punches and the average eye just can't see it.
Aware of the physical demands that lie ahead, Xander Zayas has locked his training camp down and treated it like a quiet, behind-closed-doors mission. He says the vibe remains relaxed and upbeat, but the real work is being done away from any cameras or attention. Leaked footage, however, shows him working the heavy bag and mitts with a sharper, more violent snap, as if every punch is thrown with clear intent. He is constantly drilling fast, chaotic combinations designed to exploit what he believes are small but crucial gaps in his opponent's defense, while on the other side Jaron Ennis is taking a completely different approach, openly downplaying Zayas as no real danger, confidently pointing to his superior speed, power, and boxing IQ, and already predicting a knockout win, insisting he won't even have to chase the stoppage because it will come naturally once he settles into his rhythm.
Że to walka 50-50 i nie myślę, że on ją rozwali. A co oddziela?
Poziomy ponad Xanderem, jakby on i czuje się jak fani boksu, oni tak naprawdę nie znają się na boksie, bo oni i to jest to, co zawsze powtarzam w boksie, prawda? Jesteśmy na siłowni, tak jak zawodnicy są na siłowni, najlepsi zawodnicy sparowali ze sobą wcześniej, więc wiemy, kto jest dobry, a kto nie, rozumiesz? Wiemy, na jakim poziomie jest ktoś, więc po prostu będąc na ringu z Jaronem i widząc
Xandera wiem, że jest o poziomy od niego wyższy, o wiele lepszy. I mówią, że Jaron z nikim nie walczył, ale Stanozis był kimś, dopóki z nim nie walczył, teraz z nikim nie walczył. Ci fani boksu, ciężko zadowolić człowieku. Tak, powiedziałbyś, że wtedy jego najtrudniejszym wyzwaniem byłby Fendor, czy nawet Jaron jest o poziomy wyższy od niego? Tak, zdecydowanie Fondor jest twardy dla każdego. To najtrudniejszy styl walki dla każdego w dywizji 154, po prostu ze względu na jego wzrost, jego aktywność, jego zasięg, wiesz, i jest psem. Więc to jest jak hehe. Myślę, że to jest walka, którą trzeba.
That level of confidence from Jaron "Boots" Ennis has recently sparked one of the most controversial callouts of the year. Veteran boxing insider Brian Norman Sr. went viral with a harsh and direct critique that challenged the aura around Boots. Norman openly described Ennis as a gym fighter, suggesting he only appears dominant and unstoppable when he is in his comfort zone, working at home and dominating sparring sessions against lighter, carefully selected opponents rather than proving the same level of dominance under real fight pressure.
هذا ما أريد قوله هو أنني أعتقد أن بوست مقاتل جيد، لكنني لا أعتقد أنه أفضل من أي شخص آخر، لا أعتقد أنه موهبة خاصة، لم أعتقد أبدا أنه موهبة خاصة، هل تفهمون ما أقول؟ هذا كذب، دعوني أؤكد كلامي، عندما رأيته لأول مرة في الصالة الرياضية، اعتقدت أنه موهبة خاصة، دعوني أتراجع عن ذلك، أحب أن أكون صادقا بنسبة 100%، لما شفته أول مرة في الصالة الرياضية، فكرت إنه موهبة مميزة، بعدين مرت أيام، وصرت أستوعب وش قاعد يصير، لازم أستوعب وش قاعد أشوفه، هو مجرد مقاتل عادي في الصالة الرياضية، هذا رأيي، فاهم قصدي، هو مقاتل عظيم في الصالة الرياضية، مقاتل عظيم له هالة خارقة في الصالة، فلما تدخل الصالة الكل يقول أوه وش السالفة أوه، حتى الشخص اللي جاي أنت في صالته، ما سمعت عنه إنه راح لصالات ثانية وضرب فيه أحد، ما سمعت قصص حرب عنه إنه راح يسافر للخارج أو يروح هنا ويقاتل، ما سمعت هذا الكلام، كل شيء في بيته، في صالته، هو مقاتل عظيم في الصالة الرياضية، هالة مميزة لما تكون في مدينتك، أيوه يا صاحبي، أنت في قلب الحدث، هل فهمت قصدي؟ كل من في الصالة الرياضية، حرفيا كل من في الصالة، توقفوا عن المشاهدة وكأن الأمر مذهل، وهو يفعل ما يفعله، لكن هل تعلم؟ لا أحد يتأذى، لا أحد ينام، لا أحد يسقط أرضا، اذهب وشاهد الفيديو.
According to Norman, the feared one-punch knockout power often credited to Jaron "Boots" Ennis is completely overhyped and manufactured by public perception. He went as far as predicting that fans will eventually realize Ennis is simply a solid, well-rounded fighter rather than the generational, Tyson-like destructive force that media narratives have built him up to be, arguing that the aura around him has grown more from hype than from proven dominance at the highest level.
Isaiah, think of the two-piece senior. You think Boots is gonna beat Xander?
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say. I don't know who I'm picking on this one just yet. I'm gonna say this. From what I've seen with Karen, if Xander used his legs like he's supposed to, man, that's a 50-50 fight, man. Because like I said, we got to worry about. Remember I told you before, just let y'all know I keep it a buck across the board. He could get hit with something. We're talking about Xander. He could get hit with something. He can get hurt. He could get frustrated. He could throw him off his game. You get what I'm saying? Basic, everyday talent, regular talent. I think that Xander can outbox him. I do believe that. I think if it was banging, I think Boots will win that fight. But if it came to boxing and it came to technical boxing or whatever else, and because all of those combinations, all the little combinations, Xander not gonna be there for that. Not the way he boxed. Not with the long range. You get what I'm saying? He's not gonna be there for those little flurry of punches that he throws sometimes on the smaller guys and the shorter guys, and it's not gonna have the same effect that it had on the 147 guys and everything.
Despite the criticism, former world champion Tim Bradley still leans clearly in favor of the Philadelphia native, giving Jaron "Boots" Ennis a solid 60-40 advantage in the matchup. Bradley's reasoning is built around physical and biological maturity. While Xander Zayas may appear like a physical powerhouse right now, he is still only 23 years old, and Bradley believes he has not yet fully developed his complete man strength. Ennis, meanwhile, is 28 and sitting firmly in the peak window of his athletic prime. Bradley argues that once the fight shifts from technical exchanges into a high-pressure physical battle, that extra layer of seasoned strength, density, and athletic maturity will give Ennis an edge that the younger fighter simply cannot match at this stage of his development.
Respect him. I respect both these guys, but I really respect Xander Zayas for, again, not ducking any smoke.
But you're calling it 50-50 at this point.
60-40.
Okay.
60-40. I 60-40. I think Boots is just. I think he's more talented. I think he's more talented out of the bunch, and I think that Boots right now is right in the midst of his prime. So, you know, when you start hitting that 26, 27, 28 range, man, Xander still, even though his body looks like he's physically mature, he's not. You know what I mean? Like, he still has 3 to 4 years before he really gets to his full capacity and full man strength. You know, I say around 26, 27-ish. So Boots is just, I think he's right in the midst of his prime. And these are moments that fighters dream of. And getting 2 belts in one night and, you know, facing a guy that doesn't have the, I want to say, experience that you have. So, and I know everybody talks about resume and all of this stuff, right? All this resume stuff. And I understand all of that, right? I get all of that. But when you look at Boots and his style and his skill set, and you look at Xander, you go, okay, now that's a clean ass style. You look over here, you go, now that shit looks special. You know, like that's best. You know what I mean? Like, this dude is doing it from both sides. You know, like, he got fast hands, he hits hard. Like, yeah, that looks good. Hey, he can fight. Yeah, Xander, he can fight. Yo, he look good. Hey, you know, yo, he learning, he getting better. Oh, he's technical. You know, and so that's what I see when I.
The split among boxing royalty couldn't be more pronounced, creating a powerful sense of uncertainty around the matchup. Undisputed great Terence Crawford has expressed serious concern, acknowledging the young Puerto Rican star's bravery but warning that stepping into the fire against a prime Jaron "Boots" Ennis may be happening too early in his career. Crawford's view adds another layer of doubt, suggesting that while the ambition is admirable, the timing of this step up could prove to be the real deciding factor once the pressure is at its highest.
You know, especially for Xander at this point in his career, but it shows his heart and his confidence, you know, that he have in himself, and he's ready to go make history for his country. And he's gonna do real well in that fight. You know, I just think, you know, right now, you know, it's a little bit too early for him.
Xander Zayas fighting Boots Ennis, you know, it's a big fight. Xander did not have to take this fight, you know what I mean? I feel like probably the powers that be probably were discouraging him to do it, but I mean, you know, credit to the kid. He is a unified champion. You gotta fight the best, right? Yeah. Just what are your thoughts on that fight? Break it down for me.
I mean, it's dope, man, because I think it's finally changing back over to the young guys wanting to fight the best. I mean, I think, you know, once the Floyd was out, you know, he kind of did what he did, and a lot of the young kids at that time, they kind of take the same motto and really try to stay away too much from the, you know, from the heat. They wanted to get paid, but this is going to be a great fight. We're going to find out, you know, like if this fight, you know, came a little too soon for Xander or not. I think this is a fight as well, you know, fight for Boots. You know, many of us, we feel that he has the goods, and we want to see him, you know, prove it against, you know, really top competition. And I think this is a great starting point.
Elite trainers such as Ronnie Shields and Greg Hackett have also leaned in favor of Jaron "Boots" Ennis, highlighting his proven aggression and relentless pressure as major advantages, with Hackett going as far as giving Xander Zayas just a 20% chance of surviving the matchup.
Never seen nothing like Boots. For Boots, we got guys like Xander in the city. We got guys like that just ain't heard of yet, or they just ain't never get their shot, or they might be a little over the hill. But we got a bunch of guys walking around like that. Like I'm saying that because not that Boots is sparring those guys. I'm saying we have guys like that. That's just, you know what I mean? That on that they can handle that. Boots is on a different level when it come to, you know, boxing. Like when it just come to boxing, he's just on a different level. So I got it like an 80-20 situation.
80-20.
Yeah, I got it like an 80-20 because it's just like Xander is. Well, see, what people fail to realize, Xander turned pro as a kid. You know, he was still a teen. Yeah, he was still a teenager. So it's like a lot of those fights early is for him to do exactly what he was doing, just working on shit. But now it's like, all right, you stepping it up, you champion, but now it's like, oh shit, we got to fight. Now we talking about a fight. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I think it's just his inexperience as far as fights like this. This is a hell of a fight to be in after becoming unified champion. But I respect Xander on a whole different type of level because a lot of guys wouldn't have taken this fight, this early in their careers, especially after winning unified championship.
But Olympic standout Richard Torres Jr. strongly disagrees, pushing back against what he sees as the sport unfairly underrating Xander Zayas due to his age. Torres argues that Zayas' elite ring IQ, calmness under pressure, and proven unified championship experience will be enough to completely neutralize Jaron "Boots" Ennis' flashy offensive style, suggesting that skill and composure could outweigh raw explosiveness in this matchup.